Hello students, I am Shankala here again. In last video, we discussed about the tragedy, how the tragedy has been given the highest importance by Aristotle in his world famous book Poetics. It covers 14 chapters of the Poetics and it has been termed as highest form of literature. We read the definitions of the poem of the tragedy in that video, and I tried to explain also, but due to the lack of the time I couldn't explain that. I am continuing with that. So you come to the definitions again, and we will describe it here. What is the definition of the tragedy given by Aristotle? That is, tragedy is an imitation of an action. So my dear students, pay attention towards this word, imitation of an action. Tragedy, what is tragedy? The first characteristic of tragedy is an imitation of the action of man. This is not an imitation of man, it is the action, it is the imitation of actions, his actions. What actions are done by the hero? What is the cause of his fall? What are his deeds? How does he suffer? All these actions related to the hero, related to different characters, are described in the tragedy, are presented in the tragedy. It's that lights are fluctuating, so you have some sorts of problems in this video, but I won't stop it whether the lights goes or what may happen. So students, you please be with me. Then another word which is used in the definition of tragedy by Aristotle in his definition is that serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude. How should be the action? It should be certain, it should have certain magnitude, and it should be complete. What do we mean by action? See, action comprises all human activities, deeds, thoughts, and feelings. Dear students, you have to write the characteristics of Shakespearean tragedy or Aristotelian tragedy. Shakespearean tragedy follows the Aristotle's views on the tragedy. So we are studying these. What are the characteristic features given by the Aristotle on tragedy? So I was explaining you actions. How should be the action? It should be complete, it should have certain magnitude, and action comprises all the human activities, thoughts, feelings. Then these should be complete and self-contained. How? The action or the story of the tragedy should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It should be in a proper sequence. If you change the action sequence, its meaning should be disturbed. If it is not disturbing, if changing in the sequence of the action doesn't affect the story of tragedy, then we can say that it is not of certain magnitude, as well as it is not complete. So students, the story should be well knitted. And then organic unity also must be possessed by the tragedy. What do you mean by organic unity? Means all the actions should be in a complete sequence. Then reasonable length. The word for reasonable length which we get in the definition is certain magnitude. Means the tragedy should be the tragedy should have certain length, like the Macbeth, which is to be completed in the 9 days actions. In same manner, the Aristotle says that a tragedy should be completed in one revolution of the sun. The action should not be too extended that a person can't rememorize them, can't. The action should be a person should recall them easily. A person should be able to recall them easily. If the actions are so extended and they are going simultaneously, that if an audience can't read, if an audience can't remember, then the tragedy won't have that much effect, which is the aim of the writer, the aim of the dramatist. That effect won't be there on the audience. So a tragedy, the actions must be in an organic unity, with certain magnitude. Then students, another characteristic element which we see here, that is with each kind of artistic ornament. Tragedy must have artistic ornaments also. And what do you mean by artistic ornament? That song, that spectacle, that mean the environment, stage, and rhythm and harmony. These are also important parts, important characteristic of the tragedy. Tragedy when the action is performed on the stage, it should be with songs, or like soliloquies, like poems, or some sorts of rhythmic actions, rhythmic performance also must be there in the tragedy. Then we come there again, separate parts of the play in the form of action, not of narrative. The tragedy is to be performed on the action. Then through pity and fear affecting the proper purgation of this emotion, and the overall purpose of the tragedy, which is to arouse the pity and fear in the audience, so that they can fear of the worst and feel pity for the hero looking the undeserving suffering on the stage. So this is the aim of the tragedy, to arouse the pity and fear in the audience, and to purgate them, to purgate their emotions. So, and this aim must be fulfilled through the performance of tragedy. Then, dear students, after getting the explanation of the tragedy, I would like to discuss with you the constituent parts of the tragedy, and these are 6. What are 6 constituent parts of tragedy? See here, first is plot, then another is character, then thought, diction and song, and last one is spectator. What do you mean by plot? The arrangements of actions is known as plot. How the incidents are arranged. First what will happen, then what will be the next incident, and after that what will happen. All these actions which are taking place in a tragedy, their arrangement, their sequence is known as plot. Character, who are going to represent the actions on the stage. Then thoughts, which are the ideas, which are the objects it imitates or represents, these are thoughts. And then diction means words, vocabulary, language, that is the part of the diction. Song, that has the rhythmic pattern, that has the rhythmic characteristic. It may be soliloquy, it may be poem, or it may be lyric, or whatever which can be not the lyric, but whatever can be performed with the rhythm or with the lyric on the stage, that is can be included in the song. And last one is spectacle, that in which manner the tragedy is going to be performed, and that stage decoration, that stage arrangement can be included in the spectator. So these are the 6 constituent parts of the tragedy, and the we say that tragedy and another which was compared with that was epic. So which constituent part is not found in the epic? That is spectacle and song. These things, I mean these elements which are not found in the epic are spectacle and song. This make the tragedy different from the epic. Song are not there, and the spectacle, that stage environment is also not there, and it is a difference there. So it can be asked in the objective questions either in the NET or SET or in any other exam, that what are the elements, constituent elements which are not found in the epic. These are songs and spectacle. Learn this one, remember this one. Okay friends, so these were the constituent parts, and then the plot should be arranged in a way, and there are two types of plots, simple plot and complex plot. And in simple plot we don't have complications, and that peripecia and anagnosis are not found in the simple plot. There are different terms which are used in tragedy, that is hamartia. Hamartia is known as the tragic flaw in the character of the hero, due to which he gets downfall, a fatal flaw, a mistake, an error, due to which a hero falls in his life, falls in his deeds. And another was, as I was telling, the peripecia, reversal of the situation, I mean in the life of the hero, the changes of the conditions. Once he is in a very good position or in a bad position, and goes to the just opposite position, gets the opposite position, that is known as the peripecia. And anagnosis, these are Latin words, students, and the pronunciation also might be different there. So when he recognized, mean the recognition of the truth, that why this happens to the life of the hero, and what were the causes and what are the results, that is known as the anagnosis. And the denouement, the spelling is DENOUMENT, the denouement, or the final resolutions, when the end, I mean when the hero comes to know and he reaches to its end, that is known as denouement. So hamartia, then anagnosis, peripecia, these are the terms which are used in tragedy. Aristotle, so tragedy is the base, or Aristotle's tragedies characteristics are the basic features of the Shakespearean tragedies also. So before going to the Shakespearean tragedies characteristic of features or their studies, my dear students, you must read Aristotle's tragic views on the tragedies. These are given in various books for the criticism. So, and if you read the Aristotle, then it will be easier for you to understand the Shakespearean tragedy. I will continue my chapters here again on the Macbeth and its characteristics and its views. So please keep watching my videos regularly, and I will try to improve day by day, which the syllabus and the things in an easier way for you, so that you can understand and interpret yourself in the exams in a proper manner, in a well manner, and this will be beneficial for you. Thank you.